Darkness descends upon the land like a terrible black cloak, blotting out the sun, afflicting the people like a pox.
90 ans, c'est au-delà de l'imaginable en fait. Bon, évidemment, l'âge de la victime d'un viol change pas grand-chose à l'horreur, mais là il y a quelque chose de, vous savez, le tabou ultime, on peut même pas l'imaginer en fait. Aller violer une femme de 74 ans, c'est pas imaginable. Et ça se répète. Ce serait une fois, on pourrait être sidéré et pas savoir trop quoi en dire. Quand ça se répète, on devrait en tout cas chercher quoi en dire. Chercher comment l'éviter, parce que quoi en dire, ça signifie trouver les moyens d'éviter que ça arrive. Et vous avez raison, les gens qui refusent d'en parler ont remplacé en tout cas les frontières par leurs digicodes qui sont nombreux dans les immeubles.
Exactement. Et notre
il n'y a pas dans l'immeuble de cette pauvre femme.
Notre métier, c'est de témoigner de la réalité. Et c'est pour ça, effectivement, que certains sont en guerre contre nous. Ils ne veulent pas qu'on montre cette réalité. Si nous n'en parlons pas, personne n'en parlera.
D'autant qu'il y a un point précis sur la question justement de l'immigration. Vous posiez la question du profil. Dans ce cas précis des viols de femmes âgées, c'est quasiment systématiquement des jeunes étrangers en situation la plupart du temps irrégulière. Là, il est sans domicile fixe. On va nous expliquer qu'il était probablement dérangé. C'est absolument évident. Je peux vous le dire d'avance, vu ce qu'il est capable de faire. Mais là, pour le coup, il y a vraiment un profil qui se détache nettement dans le viol de nos personnes âgées. Peut-être que ça devrait...
Die Polizei hat 2025 so viele Vergewaltigungen erfasst wie seit Jahren nicht. Das zeigt eine Abfrage der Welt am Sonntag bei allen Bundesländern. Deutschlandweit waren es demnach knapp 14.000 Fälle, 9% mehr als im Jahr davor. In mehreren Bundesländern zeigt die Statistik, dass nicht-deutsche Tatverdächtige übermäßig vertreten sind. Nicht nur bei Vergewaltigungen, sondern auch bei der Gewaltkriminalität insgesamt. In Bayern ist hierbei sogar jeder zweite Tatverdächtige ein Ausländer.
Shortly, but you've now got British far-right activists travelling across the Channel to northern France to confront migrants and destroy small boats. Has it really come to that?
Well, I think it's a bigger picture than this, Steve. It's when there's a shambolic operation to try and stop it, citizens will step in, whether it's crime in cities or, in this case, illegal immigration. They are, I would question whether they're far-right activists. These are ex-military veterans largely. Some are very Christian conscious or Christian believers. And they have gone over to France filming what is actually going on in France. And the footage is astonishing. And they've really proved that if there was a will, there's courage and there's a way, you could stop these boats, because they are destroying engines, they're stripping the boats, but they're showing that the French police are just completely aiding this illegal operation, which is it is pretty shambolic.
Yeah, the French are just issuing them with a free pass. Away you go to the UK. Don't be our problem. I did mention this other big story during the week. This was that shocking vision footage showing the moment that Afghan asylum seekers, two of them, drag a 15-year-old girl into bushes in a park before then raping her. They've now been jailed. The public response to this, Adrian, I suspect, is white-hot anger.
Yeah, it resembles the Southport murders of last summer, or the summer before last. There is widespread anger, and of course it's just because it's not just an isolated incident, Steve. It's happening all too regularly. In fact, within 48 hours, there was two other cases, three in total, of Afghanis, unfortunately raping women. So distinct anger, and of course, what's even more raised the tempers is that the jury, or the defense lawyer tried to keep this hidden, and it was only due to one newspaper that got it released that it was indeed Afghani culprits.
Diversity is our strength. Why?
This term, diversity is our greatest strength, has become a sort of sacred faith-based mantra, and if you dare to criticize it, you've committed an act of heresy. But each time I question someone and I will say, show me the evidence. Where is the proof that diversity is our greatest strength? They never can. Once in a while you'll hear, oh, look at the restaurants and the food. Well, the only response to that risible question is Rowan Atkinson, who said, well, we have the recipes now, don't we? The reality is diversity, especially the super diversity we have because of mass immigration, is our greatest weakness. And it's not me saying that. All of the economic and sociological evidence point this way. In 2019, Danish scholars did a meta-analysis of all 87 studies into diversity, and they showed that increased diversity leads to a lowering in social trust, it leads to a decline in happiness, in economic prosperity, and on the community level, people become more introverted, they stay at home more, they watch TV more, they don't engage with their community, they volunteer less, they don't join community organizations, they vote less, but they become more interested in the politics of grievance and victimhood. And because they're not engaging with their community, there becomes the deterioration of the public space. Buildings deteriorate, more vandalism, more crime. And of course, everyone at home knows this is the case because they've seen their towns and cities change beyond all recognition over the last 20 years because of mass immigration, and not in a good way.
We've been fed a pack of lies. Diversity isn't strength. How could it be? What is strong about diversity? Strength lies in social cohesion. Strength lies in shared cultural norms and ethnic solidarity, and barring ethnic solidarity, a shared lived experience, a common national tradition. The Shire needs to take refugees from Mordor. The volcano just erupted. Fine. Aww.
3 hours later.
He took my wife. No, don't take my wife. No. Diversity is our strength.
Later.
It took 2 days for the police to publicly acknowledge the scale of what had happened. Over the following days and weeks, more than 1,100 complaints were lodged for crimes including theft and sexual assault. Many of the victims young women. 125 men are now under investigation. The majority of suspects asylum seekers and illegal immigrants. From Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. 9 are from Syria.
These men invade these countries by land, by sea, by air, legally and illegally, unvetted, unrestricted, and unrecorded. They live in the shadows in the underworld. And many of them are violent, predatory, selfish, narcissistic. Some of them are sociopathic, and they will continue to be a threat to the stability of Europe and the safety of Europe's women and Europe's girls. And then there's the fact that these forces pushing this mass migration are trying to increase the numbers ever more so that the native population of Europe is swamped. So basically, Europe has about this much time in order to get its shit together to survive. Same goes for us here in the United States. You know, the most enraging thing about this is just the kindness and the generosity that the Europeans showed towards these migrants. They opened up their country, they fed them, they clothed them, free health care, education. And how did many of these refugees repay the Europeans for their generosity and kindness? With atrocities. But, as we know, to be overly empathetic is to be self-deleting. And to have too much compassion is a weakness. So if the Europeans are going to survive into the future as a civilization, as a people, as a culture, they're going to need to toughen up. And they're going to have to remember the lesson that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Enjoyed the video, leave a like or follow me.